Greetings, YouTube. The Doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers coming at you here with another commentary on Dungeons & Dragons. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or a comment. All right, it is time for another installment of the Doctor Spell Prognosis. And today we are talking about the spell Barkskin. I am giving this spell an A-. I really like this spell. However, there are many of you that are going to disagree with my interpretation of this spell and how it can be utilized or used. So, it is a second level spell, and it is usable by druids, rangers, nature domain clerics, and circle of the land forest druids, which means the druid doesn't have to prepare it, they just get it automatically. It takes one action, it has a range of touch, it's verbal somatic material, and it's a essentially worthless handful of oak bark. It lasts for an hour. It does have concentration, so you do have to keep that in mind, that it is concentration. So you touch a creature, a willing creature, until the spell ends, so for an hour or until your concentration goes away. The target's skin has a rough bark-like appearance, and the target's AC cannot be less than 16. I don't know why they wrote it like that, but that is the way it is, regardless of what kind of armor it is wearing. So, if the target is not wearing any armor, my interpretation of this is that their armor class base goes from a 10 to a 16. So let's look at the basic rules. Here's what it says about armor class. Without armor or shield, your character's AC equals 10 plus his or her dex modifier. If your character wears armor, carries a shield, or both, calculate your AC using the rules and the equipment. Okay, so it's 10 plus your dex. That's the base. My interpretation of this is it can't be less than 16. Thus, it goes to 16 or it turns into a 16. And it is a base. Now, there are some interpretations of this. It could just be that it's 16. Or it could be that your base turns into 16, but you can't have a AC less than 16. So you kind of have to go through that a little bit carefully to think about that. So reading that, it doesn't mean that your base is 16. It just means that it can't be less than 16. So you could have a druid who is not wearing any armor, who has a dex of 14, which gives him a +2, which makes the dex a 12, and then you cast Barkskin on yourself, so it goes to a 16 automatically. Just adjust it upwards to a 16. So let's look at a couple classes that do get some adjustments to their armor class. So that might benefit from this spell, but maybe not. So a Barbarian, while not wearing armor, and Barkskin is not considered armor, your armor class is 10 plus your dex modifier plus your con modifier. You can use a shield to gain this and still gain this benefit. My interpretation of this is that the Barbarian comes in, and let's say it's got a dex of 12 and a con of 14. So that would be a armor class of 13. You cast Barkskin on him, it becomes a 16. If they have a shield, and I would highly recommend using a shield with Barkskin, that would make that an 18. And I think that is kind of an interpretation of this, that, it's going to be better than what the Barbarian's getting, but it's not going to be fantastic. The monk gets is a base of 10 plus dex and wisdom. So a monk could have a wisdom of, let's say a monk has a wisdom of 14 and a dex of 18. So that's going to be 16. So really, Barkskin's not going to really do anything for the monk for the most part. Blade Singing Wizards get to add their intelligence modifier to their AC. You gain a bonus to your AC equal to your intelligence modifier. So that's when they dance. That's only when they dance. So you could have this wizard who is not wearing any armor, who has, let's say they have a dex bonus of a dexterity of 12. So they got a +1. So now they've got an 11 armor class. They get Barkskin cast on them somehow. That 11 becomes a 16 because it can't be less than 16. And then they start to dance. Once they start to dance, they get a bonus on top of that equal to their intelligence modifier. So that could make it a 20. And so you could really take a benefit. I think that wizards could take a benefit from this spell that are blade singers. I also think that barbarians could benefit possibly from this spell because they can carry a shield. Druids could cast this on some of their companions that don't have great armor classes, because some of the bigger ones don't have great armor classes. Other classes could get this through the Magic Initiate feat. So, because it is a druid or a kind of cleric, but it is a base druid spell. You can get this through Magic Initiate, and you can cast this once, and then you have to get a long rest. So there is that. It isn't the greatest spell, but it can really be helpful. Armor class is always something that's great. All right, so that's what I got for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.